Hi guys, I'm back. Today I'm going to read Joshua 18 to 23, Proverbs 2, and Psalm 126. Let's get started. And the whole congregation of the people of Israel assembled at Shiloh and set up the tent of meeting there. The land they subdued before them. There remained among the people of Israel 7 tribes whose inheritance had not yet been apportioned. So Joshua said to the people of Israel, "How long will you put off going in to take possession of the land which the Lord, the God of your fathers, has given you? Provide 3 men from each tribe, and now send them out that they may set out and go up and down the land. And they shall write a description of it with a view to their inheritances, and then come to me. They shall divide it into 7 portions. Judah shall continue in this territory on the south, and the house of Joseph shall continue in their territory on the north. And he shall describe the land in 7 divisions, and bring the territory description here to me, and I will cast lots for you here before the Lord our God. And the Levites have no portion among you, for the priesthood of the Lord is their heritage. And Gad and Reuben and half the tribe of Manasseh have received their inheritance beyond the Jordan eastward, and which Moses the servant of the Lord gave." So the men arose and went, and Joshua charged those who went to write the description of them, saying, "Go up and down in the land and write a description and return to me, and I will cast lots for you here before the Lord in Shiloh." So the men went and passed up and down in the land, and wrote in a book of description of the 5 towns and 7 divisions. And they came to Joshua to the camp at Shiloh, and Joshua cast lots for them in Shiloh before the Lord. And there Joshua apportioned the land to the people of Israel, to each his portion. And the lot of the tribe of the people of Benjamin, according to its clans, came, and the territory allotted to it fell between the people of Judah and the people of Joseph. On the north side, their boundary began at the Jordan, and the boundary goes up to the shoulder of Beth-aven. From there, the boundary passes along southward in the direction of Luz, and the mountain that lies south of Lower Beth-horon. And the boundary goes in another direction, turning on the west side southward from the mountain that lies to the south, opposite Beth-horon, and it ends at Kirith-Baal. It swarms the sea belonging to the people of Judah. This forms the western side, and the south side begins at the outskirts of Kirith-Jearim, and the boundary goes from there to Ephron, to the spring of the waters of Naphtali, and the boundary goes down to the border of the mountain of Rephaim, and then it goes down to the valley of Hinnom, south of the shoulder of the Jebusite, and downward to En-Rogel, and it bends in a northerly direction, going on to En-Shemesh, and from there goes to Geliloth, which is opposite the Ascent of Adamah. And it goes down to the stone of Bohan, the son of Reuben, and passing on to the north on the shoulder of the Beth Arabah, it goes down to the Arabah. And the boundary passes on to the north of the shoulder of Beth Hoglah, and the boundary ends at the northern bay of the Salt Sea, at the south end of the Jordan. This is the southern border. The Jordan forms its boundary on the eastern side. This is the inheritance of the people of Benjamin, according to their clans, boundary by boundary all around. And of the cities of the tribes of the people of Benjamin, according to their clans, were Jericho, Beth Hoglah, Emek, Keziz, Beth Arabah, Zemaraim, Bethel, Avim, Para, Ophrah, Shepha, Amorani, Ophni, Geba, 12 cities with their villages, Gibeon, Ramah, Beeroth, Mizpah, Chephirah, Moza, Rechem, Arapil, Taral, Zelah, Haleth, Jebus, Gibeah, and Kirith-Jearim, 14 cities with their villages. This is the inheritance of the people of Benjamin according to their clans. And the second lot came out for Simeon, to the tribe of the people of Simeon according to their clans, and the inheritance was in the midst of the inheritance of the people of Judah. And they had for their inheritance Bishba, Sheba, Molda, Hazah, Shul, Bala, Ezem, Eltalad, Bethel, Hormah, Ziklag, Beth Markaboth, Hazah, Susa, Beth Lebal, and Charhan, the 13 cities with their villages, Ain, Rimmon, Ether, and Asher, and 4 cities with their villages, together with all their villages. Around these cities as far as Baalath-Beer, Ramah of the Negev. This was the entrance of the tribe of the people of Simeon according to their clans. The inheritance of the people of Simeon formed part of the territory of the people of Judah. Because of the portion of the people of Judah was too large for them, the people of Simeon obtained an inheritance in the midst of their inheritance. The third lot came out for the people of Zebulun according to their clans, and the territory of their inheritance reached as far as Sarah, and the boundary goes westward on Meriel and touches Dabsheth, And the brook lies east of Jockney. From Sarah it goes into the other direction, eastward toward the sunrise to the boundary of Chrysalis Tabor. And there it goes to Dabarath and up to Jaffia. From there it passes along on the east toward the sunrise to Gath Heifer to Eth and going on to Rem, it bends toward Nia. Then on the north the boundary turns out to Hanathon and ends at cities with their villages. The valley of Iftail and Katath, Nahalal, Shimron, Adila, and Bethlehem. 12 cities with their villages. This is the inheritance of the people of Zebul, according to their clans. These cities with their villages. The fourth lot came out for Isaac, the people of Isaac, according to their clans. Their territory included Jezreel, Chesal, Tuna, Haphraim, Sheen, Anahara, Rabbit, Kishin, Eved, Remeth, and Gan, and Hada, Beth Pazes. The boundary of the touches Tabor, Shehazimah, and Beshemesh, and its boundary ends at the Jun. 16 cities with their villages. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the people of Isaac, according to their clans. The cities with their villages. The fifth lot came out from the tribe of the people of Asher, according to their clans. Their territory included Helkath, Hali, Betan, Aksha, Melech, Amad, and Mishal. On the west it touches Carmel and Shihor Libnath. And then it turns eastward. It goes to Beth Dan and touches El and the Valley of Tehel, northward to Bethlehem and Neil, and it continues in the north to Kabul, Ebron, Rehob, Hammon, Cana, as far as Sidon the Great. And the boundary turns to Ramah, reaching in the fortified city of Tyre. And the boundary turns to Hosea, and it ends at the sea. Mahalab, Akziv, Ilma, Aphek, and Rehob, 22 cities with their village. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the people of Asher, according to their clans. These cities with their village. The sixth lot came out from the people of Naphtali, from the people of Naphtali, according to their clan. And the boundary ran from Helah, from the oak and Zandanim, and Jami Nekeb, and Jabneh as far as Lacham, and it ended at the Jordan. And the boundary turns westward to Aznoth Tabor, and goes from there to Hukkok, touching Zebulun and the south, and Asher on the west, and Jun on the east, and at the Jordan. And the fortified cities are Ziddah, Zer, Hamath, Rakath, Chinrith, Adama, Ramah, Hazor, Kadesh, Edrei, and Hazor, Eron, Migdal-El, Horam, Beth Anath, and Beshemesh. 19 cities with their village. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the people of Naphtali, according to their clans. The cities with their village. The seventh lot came out for the tribe of the people of Dan, according to their clans. And the territory of its inheritance included Zorah, Eshtaol, Eshemesh, Shalabim, Ijon, Ithla, Elon, Timnah, Ekron, Eltika, Gibson, Baalath, Jehad, Ben Barak, Jathrimmon, and Mejarkim, and Bracken, with the territory over against Joppa. And the territory of the people of Dan was lost in. The people of Dan went up and fought against Risham, and after capturing it and striking it with the sword, they took possession of it and settled it, calling Lisham and Dan after the name of Dan, their ancestor. It's the inheritance of the tribe of the people of Dan. And according to their clans, these cities with their villages. And then they finished distributing the several territories of the land as inheritances. The people of Israel gave an inheritance among them to Joshua the son of Nun. At the command of the Lord, they gave him the sea that he asked, Timnath Serah in the hill country of Ephraim, and he rebuilt the sea and settled it. These are the inheritances that Eleazar the priest and Joshua the son of Nun, and the heads of fathers' houses of the tribes of Israel, the people of Israel, distributed by law at Shiloh before the Lord, at the entrance of the tent of meeting. So they finished dividing the land. And the Lord said to Joshua, say to the people of Israel, appoint the seed of refuge, of which I spoke to you through Mesh, that the manslay his charge any person without intent or unknowingly may flee. It shall be for you a refuge from the avenger of blood. You shall flee to one of these seas and shall stand at the entrance of the gate of the sea, and explain his case to the elders of that sea. And they shall take him into the sea and give him a place, and he shall remain with them. And if the avenger of blood pursues him, he shall not give up the manslayer into his hand, because he struck his neighbor unknown, and did not hit him in the past. And he shall remain in that city until he is stood before the congregation for judgment, until the death of him who was high priest at the time. And the manslayer may return to his own town and his own home, to the town from which he fled. And they set apart Kadesh in Galilee in the hill country of Naphtali, in Shechem, and Shechem in the hill country of Ephraim, and Kiriath Arba in the hill country of Judah. And beyond the Jordan east of Jericho, they appointed Bezer in the wilderness on the tableland, and the tribe of Reuben, and Ramoth and Gilead, from the tribe of Gad, and then Golan and Bashan, from the tribe of Manasseh. These were the cities designated for all the people of Israel, and for the strangers sojourning among them, that anyone who killed a person without intent could flee there, so that he might not die the hand of the avenger of blood, till he stood before the congregation. Then the head of the father's house and of the Levites came to Eleazar the priest and to Joshua the son of Nun, and to the heads of the father's house the tribes of the people of Israel. And they said to them at Shiloh and King, the Lord had commanded through Moses that we be given cities to dwell, along with their pasture lands for our livestock. So by the command of the Lord to the people of Israel gave to the Levites the hauling cities and pasture lands out of their inheritance. The law came out for the clans of the Kohathites. So those Levites who were descended, so Aaron the priest received by lot from the tribes of Judah, Simeon, and Benjamin, 13 cities. And the rest of the Kohathites received from by lot from the clans of the tribe of Ephraim, from the tribe of Dan, and the half tribe of Manasseh, 10 cities. And Gershonites received by lot from the clans of Isaac, from the tribe of Asher, from the tribe of Naphtali, and from the half tribe of Manasseh and Bashan, 13 cities. The Merarites, according to their clans, received from the tribe of Reuben, the tribe of Gad, and the tribe of Zebulun, 12 cities. 8 cities, and their pasture lands, the people of Israel gave by lot to Levi, as Allah had commanded through Moses. And of the tribe of Judah, the tribe of Judah, the people of Judah, and the tribe of the people of Simeon, they gave to the following cities mentioned by name, which went to the descendants of Aaron, one of the clans of Kohathites who belonged to the people of Israel. This is their love fell on to them first, and they gave them Kiriath Arba, and that is Hebron in the hill country of Judah, along with the pasture lands of Reuben. At the fields of the sea and the villages had been given to Caleb the son of Jephunneh as his possession, and to the descendants of Caleb. And the priest they gave people the sea of refuge for the Manasseh with his pasture lands, Libnah with his pasture lands, Jattir with his pasture lands, Eshtamal with his pasture lands, Holam with his pasture lands, Debir with his pasture lands, Aim with his pasture lands, Jutta with his pasture lands, Beth-Shemesh with his pasture lands, 9 cities out of these 2 tribes, and out of the tribe of Benjamin, Gibeon with his pasture lands, Geba with his pasture lands, Anathoth with his pasture lands, and Almon with his pasture lands, 4 cities. The cities of the descendants of Aaron, the priests, were in all 13 cities for their pasture land. As to the rest of the Kohathites belonging to the Kohathite clans of the Levites, the cities allotted to them were out of the tribe of Ephraim. To them were given Shechem, the sea of refuge for the manslave, with his pasture lands in the hill country of Ephraim, Gezer with his pasture lands, Kibzaim with his pasture lands, Beth-horon with his pasture lands, 4 cities. And out of the tribe of Dan, Eltek with his pasture lands, Gibbethon with his pasture lands, Hijalam with his pasture lands, Gathrim with his pasture lands, 4 cities. And out of the half tribe of Manasseh, Tanak with his pasture lands, and Gathrim with his pasture lands, 2 cities. The cities of the clans of the rest of the Kohathites were 10 in all with their pasture lands. And to the Gershonites one of the clans of the Levites were given out of the half tribe of Manasseh, Golan and Bashan with his pasture land, the city of refuge for the manslave, and Beesh-terah with his pasture lands, 2 cities. And out of the tribe of Isaac, Kishon with his pasture lands, Debrath with his pasture lands, Jarmuth with his pasture lands, and Ganim with his pasture lands, 4 cities. And out of the tribe of Asher, Mishal with his pasture lands, Abdon with his pasture lands, Helkath with his pasture lands, and Rehob with his pasture lands, 4 cities. And out of the tribe of Naphtali, Kedesh and Galilee with his pasture lands, the city of refuge for the manslave, Hamoth Dor with his pasture lands, and Kartan with his pasture lands, 3 cities. The cities of the several clans of Gershonites were in all 13 cities with their pasture lands. And to the rest of the Levites, the Merarite clan, who were given out of the tribe of Zebulun, Jokneam with his pasture lands, Carter with his pasture lands, Dimnah with his pasture lands, Nahalal with his pasture lands, 4 cities. And out of the tribe of Reuben, Bezer with his pasture lands, Jahaz with his pasture lands, and Kedemoth with his pasture lands, and Mephaath with his pasture lands, 4 cities. And out of the tribe of Gad, Ramoth and Gilead with his pasture lands, the city of refuge for the manslave, Mahanaim with his pasture lands, Heshbon with his pasture lands, Jazer with his pasture lands, 4 cities in the last 4 cities and several Merarite clans, and as the remainder of the clans of the Levites were allotted to them in all 12 cities. Cities of those of the Levites in the midst of the possession of the people of Israel were in all 40 cities with their pasture lands. These cities each had its pasture lands around it, so there was all these cities. And thus the Lord gave to Israel all the land that they swore to give to their fathers, and they took possession of it, and they settled there. And the Lord gave them rest on every side, just as he had sworn to their fathers. And not one of all their enemies had withstood them, just as the Lord had made his enemies made to the house of Israel had failed. All came to pass. At the time Joshua summoned the Reubenites and the Gadites and the half tribe of Manasseh, and said to them, You have kept all that Moses the servant of the Lord commanded you, and have obeyed my voice in all that he commanded you. You have not forsaken your brothers these many days, down to this day, but have been careful to charge the Lord your God. Now the Lord your God has given rest to your brothers, as you promised. Now therefore turn and go to your tents in the land where your possession in the life, which Moses the servant of the Lord gave you on the other side of the Jordan. Only be very careful to observe the commandment and the law that Moses the servant of the Lord commanded you, to love the Lord and to walk in the Lord's ways and to keep his commandments and to cling to it and serve him with all your heart and with all your soul. So Joshua blessed them and sent them all, and they went to the tent. Now to the one half of the tribe of Moses had given possession and back, and to the other half Joshua had been given a possession besides their brothers in the land west of the Jordan. And when Joshua sent them away to their homes and blessed them, he said to them, Go back to your tents with much wealth and with very much laughter, and silver, gold, bronze, and iron, and with much clothing. Divide the spoil of your enemies with your brothers. So the people of Reuben and Gad and the half tribe of Manasseh returned home, parting from the people of Israel at Shiloh, which is in the land of Canaan, to go to the land of Gilead, their own land which they had possessed themselves by command of the Lord through Moses. And they came to the region of the Jordan, that is in the land of Canaan. The people of Reuben and the people of Gad and the half tribe of Manasseh built there an altar of iron, an altar of imposing size. And the people of Israel heard it and said, Behold, the people of Reuben and Gad and the people of Gad and the half tribe of Manasseh have built this altar at the frontier of the land of Canaan, in the region about the Jordan, on the side that belongs to the people of Israel. And the people of Israel heard of it. The whole assembly of the people of Israel gathered at Shiloh to make war against them. And the people of Israel said to the people of Reuben and to the people of Gad and the half tribe of Manasseh, the land of Gilead, Find us the son of Eleazar the priest, and with him 10 chiefs, one from each of the children of Israel, every one of them the head of a family among the clans of Israel. And they came to the people of Reuben and the people of Gad and the half tribe of Manasseh in the land of Gilead, and they said to them, Thus says the whole congregation of the Lord, What's this breach of faith that you have committed against the Lord against the God of Israel, and turning away this day from following the Lord by building yourselves an altar this day, and rebelling against the Lord? Have we not had enough of the sin at Peor, from which we yet have not cleansed ourselves, for which became a plague upon the congregation of the Lord, that you too must turn away this day from following the Lord? And if you too rebel against the Lord today, then tomorrow he will be angry with the whole congregation of Israel. And now the land of your possession is unclean. Pass over into the Lord's land, where the Lord's tabernacle stands, and take for yourself the possession among us. Only do not rebel against the Lord, or make us rebels by building for yourselves an altar other than the altar of the Lord our God. Do not Achan the son of Zerah break faith in the matter of devoted things, have wrath fell upon all the congregation of Israel, and he did not perish in lion for his iniquity. And the people of Reuben, the people of Gad, and the half tribe of Manasseh said in answer to the heads of the families of Judah, The mighty one, God of the Lord, the mighty one, God of the Lord, he knows, and let Israel itself know. If it was in rebellion or the breach of faith against the Lord, do not spare us today, for our building an altar to turn away from following the Lord. Or if we did so to offer burnt offerings or grain offerings or peace offerings, may the Lord himself take vengeance. No, but we did it in fear that in time to come his children may say to our children, What have you to do with the Lord, the God of Israel? For the Lord has made a Jordan a boundary between us and you, the you people of Reuben and the people of Gad. You have no portion in the Lord. So your children might make our children cease to worship the Lord. Therefore we say, Let us now burn an altar, not for burnt offering, nor for sacrifice, to be a witness between us and you. and between our generations after us, that we do perform as the service of the Lord in His presence with our burnt offerings and sacrifices and peace offerings, so your children will not say to our children in time to come, you have no portion in the Lord. And we thought that if this should be said to us, or to our descendants in time to come, we should say, you have the copy of the altar of the Lord which our fathers made, not for burnt offerings, nor for sacrifice, but to be a witness between us and you. Far be it from us that we should rebel against the Lord and turn away from this day, from following the Lord by building an altar for burnt offering, grain offering or sacrifice, other than the altar of the Lord our God that stands before His tabernacle. And find as the priests and the chiefs of the congregation, the heads of the families. Those who were with him heard the words of the people of Ruth, and the people of Gad, and the people of Manasseh. He spoke. It was good in their eyes, and finest the son of Elsa the priest, and to the people of Ruth, and to the people of Gad, and the people of Manasseh. Today we know that the Lord is in our midst, because you have not committed this breach of faith against the Lord. No, you have delivered the people of Israel from the hands of the Lord. Then finest the son of Elsa the priest, and the chiefs returned from the people of Reuben and the people of God in the land of Gilead and the land of Canaan, to the land of Canaan, to the people of Israel, and brought back word to them. And the report was good in the eyes of the people of Israel. And the people of Israel blessed God and spake no more of making war against them, to destroy the land where the people of Reuben and the people of Gad were settled. The people of Reuben and the people of Gad called the altar witness. For what they said is a witness between us and the Lord God. A long time afterward, when the Lord had given rest to Israel from all the surrounding enemies, and Joshua was older and more advanced in years, Joshua summoned all Israel, its elders and heads, its judges and officers, and said to them, I am now old and well advanced in years. And you have seen all that the Lord your God has done to all these nations for your sake. It is the Lord your God who has fought for you. Behold, I will add to you as an inheritance for your tribes these nations that remain, along with all the nations that I have already cut off. On the Jordan to the great sea in the west, the Lord your God will push them back before you and drive them out of your sight. And you shall possess the land which the Lord your God promised you. Therefore be very strong to keep and do all that's written in the book of the law of Moses, turning aside from it, and to the right or to the left, that you may not mix with these nations remaining among you, or make mention of the names of their gods, swear by them, or serve them, or bow down to them. You shall cut to the Lord. You shall cling to the Lord your God, just as you have done to this day. Because the Lord has driven before you great and strong nations, and for you no man has been able to stand before you to this day. No one man of you puts to fly 1,000, since it is the Lord your God who fights for you, just as He promised you. Be very careful, therefore, to love the Lord your God. For if you turn back according to the remnant of these nations remaining among you, and make marriages with them, and so that you associate with them, and they with you, know for certain that the Lord your God will no longer drive out these nations before you. They shall be a snare and a trap for you, a whip on your sides and thorns in your eye, until you perish from off this good ground that the Lord your God has given you. And now I am about to go the way of the Lord your God. And you know in our hearts and souls always that not one word has failed all the good things the Lord your God promised concerning all that no one come to pass for you. Not one of them has failed, just as all the good things of the Lord your God promised concerning you have been fulfilled. For you, says the Lord, will bring upon you all the evil things until He has destroyed you from off this good land the Lord your God has given you. If you transgress the covenant of the Lord your God, which He commanded you, and go and serve other gods and bow down to them, then the anger of the Lord will be kindled against you, and you shall perish quickly from off the good land that He has given to you. Proverbs 2. My son, if you receive my words and treasure my commandments with you, making your ear attentive to wisdom and inclining your heart to understand it, and yes, if you qualify in such, and raise your voice for understanding. If you shoot like silver and search for your eyes for hidden treasure, then you'll understand the fear of the Lord and find the knowledge of God. If for the Lord gives from his mouth come knowledge and understanding. Stores of sound wisdom for the upright. He is a shield to those who walk in integrity, guiding the paths of justice and watching over the way of his saints. And you'll understand righteousness and justice and equity, every good path. For wisdom will come into your heart, and knowledge will be pleasant to yourself. Discretion will watch over you, delivering you from the way of evil. For men of perverted speech. Who forsake the paths of ways of darkness, who rejoice in doing evil and delight in the perverseness of evil, and whose paths are crooked, and who are devious in their way. So you will be delivered from the forbidden one, and the adulteries with the smooth words, who forsakes the pain of youth, who forgets the covenant of God, for a house sinks down to death. And their paths to the pardon, none who go to it come back, nor do they regain the paths of life. So you will walk in the way of the good and keep to the paths of the righteous. For the upright will inhabit the land, but those with integrity will remain there. And the wicked will be cut off from the land, and the treasures will be rooted out of it. Psalm 126. When the Lord restored the fortunes of Zion, we were like those who dream. Then our mouth was filled with laughter, and our tongue with shouts of joy. And they said among the nations, the Lord has done great things for them. The Lord has done great things for us. We are glad. Restore our fortunes, O Lord, like streams in the Negev. Those who sow in tears shall reap with shouts of joy. And he goes on weeping, bearing seed for selling, shall come home with shouts of joy, bringing his sheaves with him. Now that's done, I shall now do the Lord's prayer. Raise my hands, our Father in heaven, and lay be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread. Forgive us our debts, as we also forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. For yours is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen. See you tomorrow. Bye.